Hi, boys and girls. We left off on page 97. Remember, Annabelle just came to the decision that she was going to search for Auntie Sarah. She is still in Doll State. She is stuck in the living room and she is just waiting right now. So she has a lot of time to do some thinking. I'm going to search for Auntie Sarah again. I'm going to find her. I will do whatever it takes. Maybe Tiffany can help me. We will read every single word of Auntie Sarah's journal. We might find a clue. We will search every inch of the Palmer's house, even if it takes years. We will search outdoors if we have to. I don't think Tiffany would be afraid to do any of those things. Annabelle tried to shift to a more comfortable position on the coffee table, but she couldn't budge. Doll State was so annoying. She simply lay there and waited. She waited and waited some more. At long last, morning came and things happened pretty much the way Annabelle had imagined they would. The next evening, when 24 hours had passed and Annabelle was no longer in Doll State, she told her family what had happened. Nanny scolded her. Mama hugged her, but gave her a small talking to. Papa patted her head and told her to try and be more careful, then gave her a small talking to of his own. And Uncle Doll said, "Tisk, such a risk." But he whispered to her, "Did you see anything interesting while you were down there?" And Annabelle smiled at him and shook her head. And there's the teeny tiniest picture down here at the bottom of the page. Who is that with Annabelle? Who do you think? Chapter 8, Selmp. Selmp. By the time Annabelle emerged from Doll State, Kate had been asleep for several hours. Annabelle was relieved to learn that her family had not visited the Funcrafts, so she hadn't missed out on the adventure. However, she had other things on her mind. She was determined to continue searching for Auntie Sarah. Where should I begin? Wondered Annabelle. She decided to tackle the secret journal again, but she hadn't completed even one page when she heard a small commotion outside her house. She ran to the nursery window, pleased that because of Annabelle's disappearance and Kate's annoyance with Nora, the front of the dollhouse had been closed for the night. "Yo ho!" called a small voice. "It's us!" called another. Annabelle leaned as far as her window. Annabelle leaned as far out her window as she dared, and below her she saw Tiffany and Bailey scrambling up the stool steps. "Oh, spectacular," thought Annabelle. "Hello," she called. "Annabelle, oh my stars!" Nanny caught Annabelle by the bow on her dress and pulled her back into the nursery. "Do you want to fall out the window? For heaven's sake, you were just in Doll State." "But Tiffany and Bailey are here," Annabelle replied, "and we missed our visit with them last night." She dashed out of the nursery and down the stairs, and threw open the doll's front door just as Tiffany, puffing, reached the top step. Bailey was right behind her. "Hi," cried Tiffany. "Hi," replied Annabelle. "We didn't get to go to your house last night." "I'm really sorry." "That's okay. Hey, do you think you could come over right now?" "I doubt it. Mama and Papa like to be prepared for things." "But they were prepared to visit us last night. Aren't they still prepared tonight?" Here's a picture. And you can see clearly Tiffany and Annabelle. "I don't know," said Annabelle. "They're hard to explain. Besides, they're a little cross with me right now. So they're a little mad." Tiffany brightened. "I heard you were in Doll State," she said admiringly. "Yes, I've been in it lots of times. How about you?" "None. I haven't had much of a chance," replied Tiffany. 2 weeks ago, we were still in the factory in Cleveland." Remember, Tiffany's pretty new. "Hey," said Annabelle, suddenly curious, "who gave you the oath?" When Tiffany hesitated, she added, "You did take the oath, didn't you?" "Oh, yes. It's just, I don't know the name of the doll who gave it to us." "Hmm. To more than one of you?" asked Annabelle. "You didn't take it by yourself?" Well, no, we were in the factory. All the dolls took it at once. There were hundreds of us. I guess some living dolls who hadn't left the factory yet gave it to us. Girls, Bailey, come inside, please, said Mamma from behind Annabelle. Quickly. You don't want to wake Kate. And notice how different that is between Annabelle and Tiffany. Now, when Annabelle was made, she was handmade by the doll maker, and one doll gave her the oath, and she took the oath with that one person. But Tiffany was made in a factory. A bunch of dolls, a lot of dolls, were made at one time, and they all received the oath together. Tiffany doesn't even know the name of the doll who gave her the oath. Very different. Quickly, you don't want to wake Kate. Tiffany and Bailey hurried inside, and Bailey ran off with Bobby, who had followed Annabelle down the stairs. Annabelle took Tiffany by the hand. Come to the nursery with me, she whispered. I have something to show you and something to tell you. Upstairs, Annabelle was disappointed to discover Bobby and Bailey already in the nursery. Bobby, she said, why don't you and Bailey go? Annabelle paused, unable to think where to send them. Go slide down the banister, said Tiffany brightly. Oh, good idea, said Annabelle, and the boys left the room. What do you want to show me? Whispered Tiffany excitedly. This, said Annabelle proudly. With a flourish, she whisked Auntie Sarah's journal out from under the covers of her bed. What's that? Remember my Auntie Sarah, the one we were looking for the night we discovered you in your box? Yes, said Tiffany. Well, not long ago I found her personal private journal. It was hidden on a bookshelf. Nobody knew she kept it. I'm sure of it, and nobody knows about the journal now but me. I haven't told a soul, except you. Auntie Sarah was keeping it the year she disappeared. I think a clue to her disappearance might be in it. Tiffany drew in her breath. Are we going to look for clues? She asked. Yes, just like Nancy Drew. Who's Nancy Drew? Annabelle told Tiffany about the mysteries Kate was reading. You mean we are going to be detectives like Nancy and her friends? Annabelle nodded. I bet all the clues we need are right here in the journal. And when we've discovered them and we think we know where Auntie Sarah is, we will go find her. By ourselves? Probably. The grown-ups will never do it, at least not the ones in my family. Well, maybe Uncle Doll, but I don't think so. You're not afraid to go exploring, are you? Me? No, I'm not afraid of anything. I didn't think so. Tell me about your auntie, said Tiffany. And you can see the girls sitting there together. Well, Annabelle paused thoughtfully. She was very brave and very adventurous. I think she got bored just staying in her house all day long, day in and day out, nothing changing. Annabelle leaned closer to Tiffany. You know, I'm a lot like her. I get so bored sometimes. I want to do things. I want to try things. I want to go places and see things. But we're stuck here because of the doll code of honor. I don't want to put my family in danger, but I hate having to hold still and be quiet and pretend I'm not alive. Do you know what Auntie Sarah used to do? Tiffany shook her head. She used to go blending. Blending? What's that? She would leave our house and go to her room in the Palmer's house and just blend into the scenery somewhere. You know, make it look as if a human had left her there, even though no one had, of course. But she looked so natural that nobody paid her any attention. Oh, that sounds dangerous, said Tiffany. Well, it is. If you blend carelessly, you could probably end up in doll state, and I'm pretty sure that blending only tricks the grown-ups. I mean, Kate would always know where she'd left a doll. Tiffany let out a slow whistle. I can't believe your auntie did that. She must have been very good at it, Annabelle said proudly. I never heard of it until I started reading her journal, so I think she invented it herself. Of course, blending must have scared Mama and Papa and Uncle Doll and Nanny to death, and now that she's gone, I think they fear that the worst has happened. You mean permanent doll state? Annabelle nodded. Then she said, when Auntie Sarah went blending, she could listen to the Palmers or to the radio. She learned about all sorts of things. That must have been how she was able to tell me about the news and famous people and adventurous women. Oh, it was wonderful. How exciting, said Tiffany. I wish I had an auntie, one exactly like Auntie Sarah. Well, if we could find Auntie Sarah, I'm sure she would agree to be your auntie as well as mine. She could be your honorary auntie. Oh, we've got to find her, said Tiffany. We have to start being detectives right now. The first thing to do is finish reading her journal, Annabelle said. It's hard because, well, look at her handwriting. Tiffany peered into the book, which lay open at Annabelle's lap. She leaned closer and closer. Boy, that is hard to read. It's all squiggly and crawly and faded. I know, but this is where we have to start. No, wait. I know what we have to do first. There's the picture. And that is where we will stop today. So I hope you enjoyed listening to our story. Bye for now.